Hey, welcome to New Jump City, everybody, where we recap the week in American and Japanese sequential art. I am your host, Christian, the unbiased king, Espinal. And joining me through Discord, it is the man, the myth, the legend, the tank top sage, my partner in crime. It is Joshua Gangsta Time Cole.
Well, it's called partner, but it should be called Gangsta Time.
Good, Chris. What up, everybody listening? A quick announcement. We don't like Shueisha.
Well, I guess we like the products that Shueisha puts out, but that's neither here nor there. Also joining us, it is my producer, it is Edgelord Big News Brian. What's up, nerds? Hey. Hey, everybody. We're here. It's a little later than we usually record. But we are gonna truck through. We're still feeling good. We're here to be productive, do a great show. Very excited. We got One Piece.
Spry.
Huh?
I'm feeling spry.
I am also feeling weirdly spry. Yeah, we got some stuff. We got One Piece today. We got My Hero. We got Kagurabachi. We have Undead Unluck. But first, we have plugs. You can find me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. Joshua Cole, where can they find you?
JD Cole _37. That's on Instagram, and at New Jump City Josh. That's on Twitter.
Oh yeah, Brian.
And on TikTok.
You can find me at b.esp on both Instagram and Twitter. And if you ever want to catch me when I stream, which is once whenever a star shoots across the sky, you can find me at twitch.tv/itspunchline.
Hell yeah. You can follow the show itself at New Jump City on Twitter and Instagram as well. Please do that. You could email us at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about, and we will try to address it on our pre-show chat show that we do usually every week. We skipped it this week because it is late, and we just need to get through this show. But we do it usually every week. We answer questions on that. We will be back next week with it. Yeah, check that out. Subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcast, everywhere you listen to podcasts. We are on YouTube still. I am uploading the videos, the audio version of the pod on YouTube as well, if you prefer to listen to podcasts on there. And yeah, we're pretty much on every platform ever. So subscribe, like, give us a 5-star review, whatever you got to do to help us out in the algorithm. That would be super duper cool. But until then, I think we're done, and it's time for us to get into the show. One Piece. This is One Piece chapter 1121, The Upheaval of the Era. We have a color page spread, which is pretty neat. This apparently was supposed to be something. Huh?
Pretty neat indeed.
Yeah. Apparently this was supposed to be an entirely different cover. I really like the original design, but Oda just decided to switch it up in the middle. If you follow the official One Piece staff Instagram page, they post Oda drawing these color pages, and the original design was just Usopp and Luffy building a small Mary and everybody looking on, and I was like, oh, this is nice. And then all of a sudden he deleted all of it and then drew this Nami one.
Yeah.
It's just so
okay.
weird. The artistic process there. But yeah, that's that color spread. We open the chapter where we last left off. Everything's going nuts. Saturn is on the Elbaf ship and is attacking everybody on there. We see Luffy is about to counterattack, but he notices that Bonnie is reawakening and she is activating her Nika-like future powers. And Saturn tries to go for her, but Luffy deflects his weird spider leg. And Luffy's just encouraging Bonnie to keep going. In the meantime, we get a continuation of Vegapunk's message to the world. He tells everybody that the memories of the Void Century will be recalled. And mark my words, that day is coming. Though a sinking of the world's continents was a man-made disaster brought about by weapons. Weapons by which by someone's design still exist today. Which, are probably obviously the three weapons, that we all know of. We also get a little glimpse of Skypiea. I don't know if they're in particular getting this message. It doesn't seem like they are because they're not listening. But we see Conus and Isa, arriving at some kind of kingdom where Wiper is there and the other Skypiean guys, the giant snake from Skypiea is there. Was pretty cool. So Vegapunk continues onward and says that the machinations of history and fate seem to insist upon obliteration of the last descendants of rare races. And we get to see glimpses of the rare races, just a refresher of all the people that were genocided by the world government. Kuma is the Buccaneer, King the Lunarian, and Charlotte Pudding, of the three-eyed race. And we continue onward. Luffy is
very
still
rare.
Yeah. I mean, from what I understand, like, Pudding's the only one left for sure. Notwithstanding her father, which we don't know who that is, but
That's ultra rare.
What about Kaido? Is Kaido also from a rare?
That remains to be seen. I don't think he is. They call him the ogre,
No,
but I
there's
think
plenty of assholes out there.
Yeah, I think like they call him the ogre, but I think that's like just a catchphrase. I don't think he's part of a rare race. I feel like we would have heard about it if he were.
I remember they mentioned that he was either an Oni or an ogre.
Yeah, but I think like that's just in reference to him being a demon. I mean, I don't know if you want to look it up on the wiki or something, but I'm pretty sure he's human. But if he is, I mean, that makes sense. The Buccaneers are all wiped out. I think Kuma was the last one of his kind. And yeah, I think King is the only one of his. I don't think there are any Lunarians out there still. But that's neither here nor there. The battle on the Elbaf ship continues. Luffy keeps on, deflecting all of Saturn's attacks. Bonnie regains her strength and starts to load up an attack of her own. She starts yelling to Saturn about how he'll pay for what she did to her dad and what they did to her mom. We get these little flashbacks of all that's happened, all the atrocities that's been committed against Bonnie. And she starts crying, saying that she wished they could have lived together as a family. There were times that she wanted to die if she had to be alone, but she's not. She's going to live because her parents wanted her to be alive. So Luffy and Bonnie both load up their attacks. I think Bonnie adults herself again. And, Vegapunk's narration continues. They say, if the worst should come to pass, I want you all to take care of yourselves. No matter what should happen, I believe in the intelligence of mankind. I believe in science. Roger died 25 years ago. Whitebeard died 2 years ago. But the fall of these legends was merely the prologue of a new era. And we continue. We get a 2-page spread of Bonnie and Luffy unleashing attacks on him, on Saturn, blasting him to bits as Saturn falls into the ocean. So, not good news for him.
Fucking wrecked. He's dead.
He may, depending on if anybody retrieves him from the ocean, he will be probably not around.
Oh yeah, Jack survived.
I don't know. I think these guys might have like a difference. Might be an exception to that rule. I think he'll be fine.
He has holes in his body. He's in pieces.
Yeah, but he's just gonna heal again.
He got hit with a Liberation Nika punch. Come on, bro. You don't come back from those.
That is the thing.
You seen someone come back from one of those before?
I mean, didn't he literally get like a hole punch through him earlier?
Yes, he will heal.
No.
He could heal from these things, from these attacks, but the ocean, I'm actually not
The
sure.
ocean.
I think he can still drown. But that being said,
Where's Mars?
where's who?
Where's Mars?
Flying
Talking about the
somewhere.
worm? Oh. No, you got Team Rocketed.
Oh yeah, he did get team rocketed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Where? Like
To Elbath.
East Blue?
No, imagine he landed on
Imagine.
Elbaf. Meanwhile, in the sky, everybody spots the Sunny flying away. They're now falling, and Vegapunk talks about how that there are people who refuse to buckle under any and all kind of suppression. Those are they are the ones who are closest to the truth. Ironically enough, then again, perhaps it was Roger who sent them there. And we remember, those Roger's last words, incentivizing people to go out and find the One Piece. And after that, we see that pirates from all over the world are getting energized by this statement. And Vegapunk opens up the possibility that, hey, the person who winds up with it may not be the one Joy Boy desired. We see the pirates on Full of Lead going crazy. We see Shanks, who is drunk himself. We see the pirates in Empty Bluffs, where the Cross Guild is, getting pretty jazzed behind behind Buggy again, much to the chagrin of Crocodile and Mihawk. The Marines are freaking out. They're like, it cannot happen. We must find it first. And Vegapunk ends this chapter by saying that the fate of the world now rests in the hands of the one who finds it, the person who lays claim to the One Piece. And we get a fucking cool 2-page spread of all of the major players involved. The four emperors on top: Shanks, Luffy, Blackbeard, Buggy. We have a Kainu dragon, an unnamed figure down there. I don't know who this is supposed to be. Emu, Kobe.
I know.
Oh, you do? Kobe, Akiji, Figureland, and Sabo. So that's where the chapter ends on this 2-page spread. Yeah, Josh, what did you think about One Piece chapter 1121?
All right, RGC.
Oh,
for sure.
Yeah, for me.
Without a shadow of doubt for me.
What about you, Brian?
Unanimous.
Yeah, it kind of needs to.
Unified RGC. Unified RGC. Unified RGC.
Yeah. That shadowy figure is Brian's favorite character. He's finally gonna make his entrance, as his friend has been caught up and captured. So now he has to make a move.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wait, who is it?
I'll let you say his name and talk about it later. I'll let Brian speculate more on it later. We'll save that.
Yeah, I know who it is.
Yeah, but don't say their name yet. Just wait,
Okay, I'll wait.
Anyway, okay. So I enjoyed this chapter for a lot of reasons, but I'm gonna go ahead and get straight to what was my favorite part. It was like right before Saturn got eaten into literal pieces of Spider. I like One Piece has always done like the retribution really well, like payback for what like an evil person has done, and it's never like trivial. It's because these villains usually cause so much havoc and harm on like a lot of different levels, like through many different arcs. It's never just someone being mean to someone or oh, this guy robbed me or beat me up. It's like always systemic oppression for the most part. So these people, seeing these people get beat up is nice because they treat so many people as like, beneath them. So whenever these moments happen in One Piece, that's why I feel like it always hits for me. But this was special, because this obviously the five elders as a unit make decisions, but Saturn in particular had a lot to do with what Bonnie and Kuma and her mother went through ultimately. So I think it was written so well how she was expressing like her emotions, like for why he deserves what's coming to him. And I thought it was, in particular, I really liked how she said, you people aren't gods, but gods do exist, and so do heroes. And then like she starts to cry, and she's like, I wish I could have been together with my family, but I'm gonna live, and it's because like they, my parents wanted me to stay alive, and now get your ass beat. It was just really nice. It drew emotion out of me. And he got fucking destroyed. Look at his face. Look at that panel, guys. If you go on page what's that, 11?
Mm-hmm.
When they're punching him, zoom into his face if y'all can. Look at that pancake, mush. You ever seen a beat up tomato? a real old. He's done. If they bring him back, I'm gonna be disappointed. I don't want to see this guy anymore.
Watch.
No. Imagine it pulling him out with a crane. If he survives in the water, he's definitely a crab. There's nothing y'all can tell me otherwise. I don't give a fuck about Japanese folklore.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. That'll be my consultation. Consolation
if he does survive, he's a crab.
That's not how it works.
Yeah, definitely.
Brian, look up there if there's spiders.
Not?
Look up if there's spiders that can survive in the water.
He's not that kind. He's not the water bubble spider.
Oh, but he's a crab for
and
sure.
That's not how it works. They can't live, they can't survive in the water. They create air bubbles and go in the water. They don't got no air bubble. He's done.
You might have heard of a diving bell spider that spends its whole life underwater. This is a species. What the fuck? Basically, yeah, there are spiders that live underwater.
I knew it.
Brian, you're not supposed to be the unbiased king. You're supposed to be the very biased Brian.
He asked me a question, and I had to find the answer.
I had to be unbiased to the fact that he could very well be a spider. That is my duty.
There are agendas trying to be fulfilled here.
There are no agendas trying to be fulfilled here.
That is just a cope by people with agendas.
I assure
it's
you.
The crustacean agenda.
The crustacean agenda. Well,
I'm telling you, there's no way he lives otherwise.
Well, you're advocating for the crustacean agenda. It's not me. You're the one who's.
And crabs can live without their limbs if they fall off and shit.
What about spiders?
I don't think so. I don't think we have much time to look that up, so
Well, we have a whole producer on the other side here, Brian.
Or are we looking up?
Nah, because he's gonna have to get into his thoughts pretty soon.
Well, he'll look it up during my thoughts. How about that?
Okay. Well, anyway, look. Oh my God, can spiders live without their legs? And I guess they can too, but I think crabs have an easier time surviving.
Without all their legs,
Brian,
or without a leg?
Without a few limbs, because this guy lost a few. There's literal holes in his body too, but whatever.
If you really broke its leg, then part of it or all of it would have fallen off. A spider's muscles will clamp shut to keep them from losing too much pressure / fluids. Spiders can live without 1 or 2, and maybe even 3 of their legs.
Look at that, Josh. Look at that.
Let's see. Can crabs
I
live?
guess I just have to hope he's gonna stay dead. Here we go. Thanks, guys.
Anyway, wait, crabs can regenerate.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
Regenerate lost limbs. That's more like
Crapper's an animal, and he said crab.
Yeah, that's more Saturn-like. Saturn
whatever animals
regenerate.
are.
No, he's the devil fruit. He's
Spiders
like
don't.
not just a spider. He's a demon spider. So he could.
No, he's a crab.
No. You know what, Brian? You're a traitor.
Spiders can't regenerate like crabs.
You're a traitor. He's a demon. No. Did you understand?
So,
He's a demon.
I don't know about you guys. I don't know about you guys, but the vibe of of this chapter, especially towards the end, feels kind of like the series being reborn in a sense, or like almost showing like, hey, this is what it is right here. Like this is the beginning of the, I guess, end of the final few arcs, which we already knew, we was already talking about, but this felt like he's reaffirming, like, listen, don't forget, but like, all this crazy shit is going down, all this history, but it's still about the One Piece. It's all linked to that. Trust. Emo was like, it will be me. How the fuck he ain't get it yet? He got all this pop. Anyway,
they don't have the road poneglyphs for it. The only way to get to Raftel is the RPs.
Mad.
Road poneglyphs. It's crazy that the government didn't have their hands on not one of these road poneglyphs.
Well, they were in the hands of the strongest pirates.
I know. It's just funny how it ended up that way. Like 3 of them, and
in the sky.
Well, one of them is with Zoe.
It was designed that way.
No, one of them is with Zoe. The other one was with Kaido. The other one was with Big Mom. The 4th and final one is in an unknown location. Probably Lodestar.
Shanks didn't have one?
Shanks did not have one. As far as we know.
Interesting.
The guy with the burnt face has it.
Yeah, the burn scars.
Man marked by flames.
Yeah, I think that this dude with the beard, what was his name? The Celestial Dragon General.
Garling.
Oh, Garling. Figurlin.
The god
Garland.
name.
I thought it was Figurlin.
He's
Figurlin is his last name.
Figurlin.
Oh, okay.
He's somebody's father. He's somebody's
Shanks'
father.
Yeah, everybody's just like, this is Shanks' dad.
Yeah, for sure. Without a doubt. And if not, then he's the person that knows Shanks' family. Shanks is absolutely a celestial dragon. There's no way. There's no fucking way.
Film Red calls Shanks' last name Figurlin, and his last name is Figurlin, so they're basically confirmed to be related.
Whoa.
Yeah, this was spoiled like a long time ago by the movie.
Yeah, I don't know why they ought to let them do that.
They had to give him something for Red.
Is it my Twain?
Well, is Billy Boy also with the top hat also like a celestial dragon too or something
Billy
like that,
Boy.
or he just came
Billy
from a rich
Boy.
family?
Who's
Who the
Billy?
fuck is Billy?
Oh, Sabo is just from
Sabo.
Sabo's
Bro.
family is just like rich. They're just like a rich family. They're not like a celestial dragon.
They were nobles, but not celestial dragons.
They're not CDs.
They're not
just
CDs,
like
no.
cassettes.
No, they're just nobles.
Yeah, they're
Yeah. Well, anyway, what are your thoughts, Brian? And please say the name and talk about who that is without a shadow of doubt.
It's Bogart.
Yes.
It's Bogart.
Brian. I'm sorry to burst your bubble. It's not Bogart.
No, it's got to be
Yes,
Bogart.
it
It's
is.
probably Bogart.
I'll tell you why.
It's absolutely.
Why?
It's not Bogart's sword.
He got,
You got a new one.
Bogart wields a katana. This is clearly
Yeah.
a rapier.
He switched,
but he just
he
wanted
switched
new
it up.
one.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
I know who it really
And he
is.
can use many different
Oh,
swords.
shit, you know who it is?
Who is it really then, Chris? Go ahead.
I'll tell you during my thoughts since you guys want to be all cryptic.
Oh.
So I was I'm just gonna talk about the last 2 pages because that's the most interesting part for me. And I was on Twitter. I was just scrolling around, seeing what people thought. And typical Joe, who is a notorious One Piece yapper. He talks about One Piece all the time. He comes up with a bunch of theories and shit. He made the observation that these last 2 pages are mirrored essentially on either side. So it's like it's Luffy versus Blackbeard, it's Shanks versus Buggy, Emu versus Sabo. I mean Emu versus Kobe. Sabo versus Akainu, Dragon versus fucking what's his name? Kuzan, and this shadowy figure versus Garling, it seems. Which I thought was pretty interesting. It does make sense.
I don't buy it entirely either.
I don't buy it.
Mostly because I don't think Kobe's meant to go up against Emu.
I feel like it makes sense for Kobe to go up against Emu. Because Kobe is... So here's the thing. So Emu has been using the Navy to essentially become like an enforcer to keep like as basically a way to enforce the world. You know, basically they're the dogs of the world government. Like, so the world government's will is imposed by the Navy, and Kobe is kind of like he's a sign of change within that organization. He's like the caring and compassionate part of justice, and if it makes sense for him to be against being a tool used by the world government and trying to fight it. So, I mean, I'm not saying that he's going to be the one to like fight Emu and finish the job, but I'd say he might have like a lot of involvement in fighting Emu, surprisingly enough.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't put too much stock in these being matchups per se. I think like there are matchups that make sense. You know,
yeah, like Sabo and Akainu.
Sabo and Akainu, I can see being a fight for real.
Dragon and Kuzan doesn't really make much sense to me.
Yeah, that's why I say I wouldn't put too much stock in these being like final battle matchups or even battle matchups in general.
I feel like Shanks and Buggy make sense though, a little bit.
Yeah, but like Shanks is so much stronger than Buggy that it's barely a fight.
Yeah, but they're both rivals.
Yeah, but like they're rivals in not really.
They come from the goat ship.
I mean,
I want to see Hawkeye fight against Did I say Hawkeye?
You did say Hawkeye.
Is that his name? The swordsman dude?
Hawkeye Mihawk, yeah.
Mihawk?
Yeah. Mihawk, yeah. I want to see him fight against Shanks.
I mean,
possible.
they were evenly matched. I think he's stronger than Shanks when it comes to swords.
Yeah, especially now that
they were evenly matched before he lost his arm for Luffy, but that definitely probably changed a lot afterwards.
Yeah, they were definitely rivals in that respect, but even then, I think Mihawk has held on to the world's greatest swordsman, but you know, that doesn't necessarily mean you're stronger than a person. It's just like in that specialty, you are the best person. You're like the most skilled with a sword.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily that you are like, even though Mihawk is one of the stronger people, probably.
I think also since we've learned that Conqueror's hockey can be weaponized, that's a big deal.
Yeah, I'm sure
it's
Mihawk
not just like an intimidation thing.
Yeah, I'm sure Mihawk does
but
that.
not on the level that Shanks could. I think that would
Dude,
be
all
like
I'm saying is we've seen a lot. We've seen how strong swords can be and how strong swordsmen can be. And to be renownedly known by everybody to be the best swordsman, I think that alone puts him in top 5 strongest in the series.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I wouldn't really like.
Maybe even top 3.
Maybe. I mean, who's to say? We actually don't know how strong. Like, we don't know how to scale these guys yet because we haven't seen them actually fight for real. It's the same with Dragon, you know. we don't know how good Fingerling is. He was apparently a really good swordsman.
Yeah, technically, Fingerling doesn't live in the world, so he could be stronger than Mihawk by technicality.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know. Were those all your thoughts, Brian?
Yeah.
I have a couple of really cool, interesting things that came up. I do like how Josh kind of hinted at this when he mentioned it initially, but the idea of like this feels like kind of a rebirth, or like a revitalization of the series, even though it's like towards the end. I feel like that was an intentional thing by Oda. He tends to mark the big chapters of this story, like the big landmarks of this story, by deaths of significant figures from the past. So, Vegapunk himself mentioned it was Roger first, and he galvanized the pirates to set out and start looking for the One Piece, inspired everybody who made it this far. Whitebeard came second and revitalized those hopes. Created more pirates in the seas that would go out and set sail for it after confirmation of a guy who knew Roger, a secondhand source, saying that the One Piece is real.
The One Piece!
The One Piece is real!
Piece is real!
And now we have Vegapunk, who is attaching even higher stakes to it. It's like, all right, we're basically in the playoffs of the story now, and everybody here in this 2-page spread are like the seeds in this playoff tournament, essentially. Or they represent the figures of everybody who's kind of going to be taking center stage in the final battle. I think there's a couple of other theories I've heard about, like tangentially related to matchups regarding this, and it's people are like, okay, so these are the people that are going to pull up to Lodestar, or there's going to be like a second God's Valley incident with everybody in this 2-page spread.
That would be fucking insane.
It's interesting that none of the elders are in it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't put that much stock into it, but these are. You can figure that Emu would probably be representative of the 5 elders. I don't think Emu himself or herself will show up to God's Valley incident. If anything,
I mean, Saturn was there for God Valley.
He was an elder. That's what I'm saying, is that like Emu's representative of the 5 elders, I think. So Emu's place here is just like, okay, so the 5 elders will probably be there because they're not going to go themselves. It'll probably be they'll probably send the 5 elders. Which makes sense, I think. And it'll probably be the race to the final road poneglyphs. It probably won't be on God Valley. I think it'll be on Lodestar, which is the second to last island. So I've known, like, this has been known as the island before Raftel. But yeah, I mean, that's one thing. Okay, so this is going to be a far out there theory about who this person is. And let it be known, I actually don't believe that it's true. But I think it's very funny if it is. And I know
Please don't say it's like Drake.
No, it's not. It's not Drake. But I will send you guys the proof through Instagram if you guys want to look at your phones real fast.
There's no way that's Drake.
No, it's not Drake. I'm sending it now.
I just feel like Oda was trying to make him seem really important, and I just didn't care about him at all.
No, the person in this lower panel, from a source that is just guessing, and it's probably like a half serious guess. I don't think this is it, but I was like, it's coincidental. It's Geen. It's Geen.
No. What are you talking about?
Just
What the fuck are you talking about? There's no way it's Geen.
They have the same kind of sword.
You gotta be smoking something.
They've got.
Is not. You are smoking
Who is
something.
That's from Sanji's
Bro,
arc.
You gotta reread One Piece, man.
Yeah, Josh. I mean, like, I feel like every chapter we look at a character and you're like, who is that?
Every time we talk about anyone
Is that
who
Kuma
has
back there?
No, that's Don Krieg, dog. These are the villains from Sanji's arc. Way back in the East Blue. Geen shows up casually in the background of a chapter. And then all of a sudden...
Why the fuck would Geen be the one here? Do you think he's the new guy? He's the new leader of the Krieg Pirates?
And also, yes, I think he is the leader.
That would be kind of fire, I'm not gonna lie.
I think he takes over from Don Krieg.
Honestly, Don Krieg does look kind of submissive in that page.
But look, they show up casually in the background. Oda makes it a point that Krieg and Geen are alive.
They were on the Baratier.
They were on the Baratier. They fought to take the Baratier from Chef Zeph.
And Geen fought against Zoro.
Geen fought against Sanji.
Dead. He was dying.
He was dying.
He fought against Sanji.
And yet, we see him, he survived. And that's definitely Don Krieg. That's Don Krieg's Jolly Roger on that guy's shoulder. It has 2 hourglasses on the side of him.
Yeah, and Krieg got glasses.
Yeah, you know he's old.
That's the biggest sign yet. That's the biggest sign yet that this is.
That's Krieg. Look at the sword.
There's no way that's Geen. There's no way.
Who is it then?
It's not Geen. There's no way it's him.
Who else would
the guy doesn't look like he has a beard.
Hmm.
It's shaded.
Maybe
so
he
it's hard to
shaved.
tell.
Maybe he
Perhaps.
shaved for this one post.
Perhaps.
Nah?
If it's Geen, I would not be angry, but goddamn, would it be the funniest shit ever, wouldn't it?
I mean, look. Oda likes to bring back characters he hasn't killed for sure. Geen was on death's
why
door.
would he be important? Look who he's on. Look who he shares the page with.
If it's Geen, it would be the funniest shit. Geen is right next to Emu, bro.
Geen is supposed to kill Emu.
He is sandwiched between Emu and a Kainu.
And Dragon.
And Dragon, 3 of the most polarizing figures in the world.
Man of Mystery, Geen.
I will literally cry.
Let's do some. Let's take some context clues from this, right? I think instead of looking at it from a matchup perspective, we maybe look at it in groupings, right? Obviously, the top are emperors, right? I'm willing to just say that they're their own group, right? These guys on the right side, you got Akainu, Dragon, and Emu, both leaders of their own movements. Obviously, Akainu works for Emu, you know, indirectly, but like still, they have their own motives, and I'm sure I get the point. Excluding the shadowy sword figure, and then you know these 4 on the left. What are they all like? Fucking sidekicks trying to figure out their way in world.
Degree, you know,
I don't know.
Who?
I said like they're all like sidekicks, but not really. Oh, I don't know. I think I said Akainu and Kobe are both trying to figure out exactly what it is they want to do. I mean, obviously Kobe has his own sense of justice and wants to avenge Garp, but he's still trying to figure out how he's going to go about that. And not Akainu. I don't know what I'm calling that. The ice dude. Kuzan.
Kuzan is also his real name. I don't know.
Wow, that was random. Yeah, Kiji. Kiji doesn't really know the next step he's gonna take either. And I don't know. I'm trying to figure out like if this group over here on the right side is like all leaders of something, like who's this guy with the sword if it's not
The leader of the Krieg
the all my
Pirates.
what but
No, I'm kidding.
what do they do?
I do want to
Alright,
say,
like,
look, I'm not actually serious. I don't know. I'm not gonna go out here and say that it's definitely Geen. I just thought it was a funny.
it's gotta be.
I saw this little panel that somebody pointed it out, and I'm like,
God, I pray to everything that is Geen. I pray to everything. Oh my God, would that be the funniest shit?
Josh
ever.
will be so mad if it's Geen.
What's the likelihood that Bogart does not show up for the rest of the series?
We'll probably never see Bogart again.
We have seen Bogart again.
When?
He was at the Hachinosu raid.
Was he there? Oh yeah, he was there.
Yeah, he was there.
He was there. He didn't do anything.
He's more prevalent now than ever before.
Now that Garp's gone, he is the commanding officer.
He is the strongest
He was in
Marine
the
there
anime
is.
too. I mean, he was in a live
Oh
action.
my God, you guys think in the
recently.
anime? Because like this week is supposed to be the episode of Kobe's story. Like it's gonna start that fight, the battle on Full Lead. Do you think
Yeah,
they'll
Bogart is gonna fucking pop off.
Yeah, do you think they'll, because they're, as filler material, they'll let Bogart pop off for a little bit?
He has some shit to prove. He got some shit to prove. He's out here. He's about to crash the fuck out on Hachinosu, bro.
They just changed the story entirely.
Again?
Full
It's
Lead,
the pirate island.
Oh, okay. Oh, Bogart was there? I don't remember that.
Yeah, Bogart was there. And so is Tashigi. Tashigi was there too.
Oh, Smoker's girlfriend.
Tashigi was not there.
She was there.
No.
Yeah, Tashigi was there.
Huh. Was Smoker still recovering from Punk Hazard?
No, he's been fucking off doing some other shit. He's been on his
I saw
own.
him at his fucking hospital bed. And it was like, why won't they stop disrespecting this guy?
No, he hasn't. He's
salty.
been recovered. He's just been driving around on his motorcycle and shit. Nobody knows what the fuck he's up to.
Mm.
Maybe that's Smoker.
Smoker doesn't use a sword.
Yeah, he be chilling. Plus, that would be too many people with cigars in their mouths in this page. Akainu can be the only one.
Well, Kainu's the only one with cigars.
Yeah, and if it's Smoker, then that would be like another person, and it's too many cigar smokers.
I'm surprised nobody. Well, I guess Buggy counts, but I was about to say I'm surprised like the other two Cross Guild guys aren't here. But I guess Buggy is the representative for Cross Guild, so.
You need a fucking napkin, bro. Kind of gross.
Yeah. No, yeah, this
How come
chapter.
Shanks is, what is he, insecure about his smile? Why is he only like everybody else is having a good time? Why isn't he just let loose?
I think he's drunk.
Yeah, but just because you're
He's
drunk doesn't
faded.
mean you can't laugh. Like, bro, laugh, bro. This guy's not even trying to be the next Joy Boy.
Maybe he's not.
He's a fake.
Damn, Brian.
Who should go there instead, Kid?
Maybe
Kid
it's
would
Law.
laugh.
Kid's dead.
Okay, we spent a lot of time on One Piece.
We did. I just wanted to. Do I have anything else? You guys were fighting me so hard on the completely plausible Geen thing. So very plausible,
that's
very believable Geen thing.
I'm praying for Geen to be that person. That would be so fucking awesome.
All right. Yeah. No. I mean, I guess I'll leave it there. I don't really have anything else to say.
I'm gonna get water real quick.
Yeah. All right. With that being said, let's move onward.
The champ is here!
My Hero Academia. This is My Hero Academia, chapter 428, The Girl Who Loves Smiles. So, last we left off, Deku had a conversation with Spinner about Shigaraki's last words and his life, and how Shigaraki has affected Spinner, and how much he meant to him, and how much like he gave Spinner hope and a goal to shoot for towards the future. And he vowed to write a book about Shigaraki so that the world would never forget why he did what he did. And so people could at least understand that there was, at the start, a legitimate issue that Shigaraki was fighting against. And that chapter ended with Shoto and Bakugo being hounded by the new first years of UA. And we continue on with that one. We open up with the first years, I guess, being disappointed for not being able to meet Shoto and Bakugo. They're currently hiding behind Ida, who is just like, I guess, filtering them in. Todoroki says that he's happy to chat, but one at a time, please. So, you know, they get everybody in order. So yeah, they're going to be able to talk a little bit with their adoring fans. Yeah. Wait. Okay, yeah. Basically, he kicks everybody out because, you know, Shoto and Todoroki are still recovering from their injuries, so they're not here to talk to first years. But everybody's like, you know, excited to see them. One of them breaks through a little bit and calls out to Midoriya, and says that Midoriya gave him a lot of courage, and he felt like he had to stand up and do something himself, and he was inspired to become a hero because of him. So that's nice.
He's next. He's next.
He's next. He's the one. Midoriya gets a quick flash of Spinner mean mugging him, I guess. And
why? I wonder why. Why did he think about Spinner here?
Yeah, Midoriya's like, this pen. I guess the idea is that, like, you know, this guy was really inspired, but I guess Spinner sees him as a murderer who killed his friend. So it's a little bit of whiplash, I suppose.
Yeah, that's crazy. There's like, yeah, yes, I'll go Spinner. Oh, okay. That's how I took it. I was reading it, and then like, you know, you're going. All right, I'm looking at it like full page on the laptop, but on the phone, just like, you know, single page at a time. So they're like, oh, so thank you, and sorry to bother you. I flip Spinner, and then he's just like, oh shit.
Does he have PTSD?
Think about it. Yes.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm going to talk more about that later.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like literally all of them do to some degree. But yeah, everybody's just like talking about, you know, their newfound fame and stuff. We cut over to the staff room. Oh yeah, Uraraka is looking a little like forlorn, I suppose. A little. She's not super excited about what's going on here. But in any case, we go to the staff room where Aizawa and President Mike are talking. Apparently, the media is asking to interview 2A, and Aizawa is like, no, we shouldn't let that happen. But, you know, I think the clone guy is like, well, you know, some of them might want to do it, right? We should. I'm sure Mineta would want to talk to the press, and Aizawa was like, yeah, but the others wouldn't, so they take priority. We then cut over to Reconstruction Day. The classmates are helping rebuild the city. So yeah, that's happening. We see what's his name?
Fat Gum.
No, not Fat Gum. The Edge Shot.
Edge Shot, yeah.
Yeah, in the middle of it, Edge Shot is still a tiny little guy, but he's got some limbs now. He's recovering very slowly. Bakugo asks if he'll ever be back to normal, and he's like, from the outset, I intended to seize the day in triumph. So that's nice, you know? It's good that Edge Shot survived, giving Bakugo a little relief. But yeah, we see, everybody's out here, doing their part in reconstructing everything. They stop for lunch. The citizens have made them a big old lunch table, full of onigiri, among other things. And all the people are just like, my property got all blown off the map in the big battle. And Midoriya apologizes, but he's like, not at all. I don't mean to say I hold it against you. He said, when we saw you bunch fighting the good fight, we realized we had no business sitting around. So, can't ask you to handle this job all on your own. And the citizens are going to help out with the rebuilding effort, which is cool.
His face looked fucked up.
Yeah.
Looks like a jack-o'-lantern.
He does look like a jack-o'-lantern. It does look
Am
kind
I
of cool.
prejudiced to the heteromorphs?
Yeah, you are. That was very
Yeah, that was kind of
insensitive.
racist.
Come on, man.
Damn, is Spinner gonna haunt me in my dreams now, like Midoriya?
Yeah, you're gonna
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to sleep tonight.
Yeah. Prepare to be having
Should've drank that coffee.
prepare to be having a random conversation about something, and then all of a sudden, Spinner.
No.
So yeah, they're finishing the job. A bus pulls up, and Aizawa's like, no other bus was scheduled to show up, but Cementos comes out, and the first years come out to apologize for bothering them. And
Wait, Cementos their teacher?
Cementos is, I guess, a class 1, like freshman.
Why? Okay, hold on a second. Why the fuck is Cementos not here fixing these buildings, bro?
Honestly, yeah. But
like, wait a second. What the fuck?
You mean like already there? Like without
Yeah,
his
of all
class
people,
coming to-
of all people who should be here, Cementos should have been here yesterday, bro.
I don't know. I have no answer for you, Brian. I'm sorry. You'll have to ask Horikoshi himself.
That's wild.
So yeah, the first years are volunteering to help, and yeah, they do that. So the citizen that came with the food is saying that, like, not sure how this came about, but I suppose one turn of good hard work inspires the next, and so on. So that's nice. Even Uraraka starts to smile a little bit, and she's like, little by little, things are taking a positive turn. What a relief. And Midoriya seems to notice something's wrong. But Uraraka goes over to grab some food, and she starts to eat. Midoriya is still just like, she's depressed, I know it. I feel like I know it. So yeah, everybody went back home for the most part. Uraraka, Suyu says that Uraraka went home for a little bit, and she's worried because she hasn't read her latest texts. We get a flashback from, I guess, like some person who from the news saying that they forgot the battery for the camera, so the battery was dead, and Uraraka is remembering that, like, that day there was no camera to capture the end of our battle, and she's like she's thinking to herself that the cityscape is looking back to normal already, and but she says that, like, feels like nothing has gotten better ever since then. It's like the sun is setting and the shadows are growing long, and she's like, unlike those other times, it's really over now. Oh, I think that she was quoting herself in this little flashback panel, but she's saying that everything's over now, everything's been settled, and that's a good thing. And I feel like she's, like, trying to remain positive on everything, and she's like, the world's facing forward and ready to bring it all back. And she's like, I love the fact that everybody's smiling, and she doesn't want to be a party pooper, as we see that tears are welling up in her eyes. And she remembers Toga, and she starts to break down crying, saying, that's why, just like before, I'm dealing with this lasting pain by shutting it all away. And the chapter ends with Deku arriving He seems to have been moving fast using All for One, what remains. And he calls out to her.
Wow.
He says, Uraraka. And that's where the chapter ends. Josh, what did you think about My Hero Academia, chapter 428?
So I like this chapter. I have mostly positive things to say, but specifically, there was a moment when he thought about Spinner, the same one that will haunt my casual conversations for the next week. I think what that moment about was less about PTSD, more so about the literal conversation that he had with Spinner, like the day before, with and how like these kids are like talking about, oh, we seen you heroes fight and beat the bad guy up, like it was awesome, and everyone's like happy about that, but no one is considering the whole point of why some of the villains were you know conducting that way in the first place. Like Spinner, they may have been going about it like the wrong way, but
so maybe he's just for
Spinner definitely had a point.
They'll forget why things happen. Is that like, it's kind of like alluding to the fact that people are already starting to forget.
Yes, exactly. And that's yeah, that's exactly what I think that moment was about. And I feel like it's expressed even further with Uraka. It sucks that they weren't able to get the camera footage of their fight to see like everything that happened. Man, a little nitpick. I think it's so fucking stupid that the battery died instead of like maybe it just the fucking camera broke because debris hit into it. I would have liked that
maybe
better.
they got,
but it's whatever. Like I'm not. I guess I just had to say it because it's the podcast and I say what the fuck I want on it, right? We all do. So yeah, I don't know. But anyway, I don't want to detract too much. Uraka feels the way she does right now, like so emotional because she knows like people generally are moving on, not really questioning, like again, like not to reiterate, but like not really questioning the actions of the like villains. Like it's like she could feel like it slipping away, like what Ochako, not Ochako, what shit, the vampire girl.
Toga?
I forget her name. Thank you. Yeah. What Toga like died for. She fought and put her whole entire life on the line because she felt like she couldn't be free the way society was, and to the point that she cried and broke down to someone that was fighting against her. Anyway, I think that was done really well, and I'm actually really, I think if One Piece didn't fucking pop off as much as it did, this is easily the second place and could have been the RGC. Because I really like the direction this is headed in. I think when I read this twice, and the first time I read it, I was like, oh, is this about to be the Aang and Katara moment? For those who's watched, Avatar, like, well, spoilers, but like, like I'm thinking, all right, is this going to be their emotional moment where they finally get together and kiss? And I feel like it's just going to be so much deeper than that. Like, they might have a real fucking conversation about like, yo, we need to like, all right, fuck just rebuilding. We need to do something to let people know, like, we can't let shit be the same, or these problems are gonna keep coming back up. These people are gonna keep sprouting up, to resist their oppression. Sorry, go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, their experiences are very similar. Like, they both really wanted to rehabilitate their respective villains. So it makes sense if they have a deeper conversation.
Yeah, that's a good point. They have a real connection there that makes it, I've really never thought about that. I guess that was pretty much set up because I really had an attitude around the time when they brought Dirty Deku back to the school and they had to give him that pep talk and all this extra shit. And I remember there was like this big moment between him and Uraka where they had a conversation and she really like inspired him again and then she inspired all the people. I wasn't really like invested as much as I should be, which means I wasn't paying attention. But this was built. Their romance has been built up like well, in my opinion. It was a slow burn, and the only thing I can feel that got in the way of it, which was what got in the way of everything in My Hero, which was not seeing more interactions. But they gave us a lot more than with other characters, aside from like Todoroki and Bakugo. So anyway, this was a nice chat that I'm really interested in how Orkoshi's gonna wrap this up, reconcile these feelings. All right, so Brian, what are your thoughts?
How would you guys feel if it ends up being that Uraraka is dead and this is Toga?
Oh,
that would be a little
shit.
nuts.
That would be.
I honestly don't know how I would feel about it.
I feel like there's a chance that that's what's happening here.
I feel like it's not.
I don't know. She's clenching the same spot.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like
it's kind of like she's living a bit of a lie.
No, I don't know. I don't buy it.
It's Toga. It's Toga. She's crying just like Toga did.
Toga's the only person in the world who cries.
Yes. Now you get it.
That's Toga, and that was Gin earlier.
It's like Toga's chance to become a regular person is given to her by Uraraka dying. So she became Uraraka. So it's like technically she is Uraraka, but she isn't.
It's not. It's Uraraka. I don't know. I don't think it's Toga. If it's Toga, I feel like that's kind of weird.
You're gonna be eating those words, pal.
No.
But it's Uraraka next chapter.
No.
I think next chapter everyone's gonna become one for all.
That would be something.
Through the connection and remorse and guilt and pain and caring and compassion, everyone becomes one for all. Those are my thoughts.
Were those all really your thoughts?
I'm curious what the quirks for the new Class 1A is. Wonder if they're extremely powerful beings now, just like the quirk singularity thing thinks it's gonna go down, you know?
Yeah.
Or maybe they're not really all that strong, they're just like on the way to becoming that strong. But yeah, honestly, I don't have much else to say aside from the fact that Cementos should be the one doing some more fucking rebuilding, that fucking around.
Yeah, that was a good point.
He's literally the person most capable of repairing a lot of shit.
No, you're absolutely right. I didn't even really think about it
right now.
I didn't think about it either until this chapter, and I saw him come off the fucking bus. I'm like, bro, what are you fucking doing, man? Get to work. But yeah, those are my thoughts.
All right. Josh, do you have any final thoughts? I don't know if you got to finish.
Yeah, I did. I'm back. I guess just a quick rebuttal, which is that I hope it's not Toga, because that would really take away from what I think Horikoshi's trying to do right now. So I feel about it. That would take away.
Yeah, it would definitely be weird if it were her.
You guys are just mad.
I mean, I would be mad, I guess, if it was
You guys
true.
are just mad that I'm right.
No, Brian, no.
Listen, all I'm saying is I'm ahead of the curve here. I'm already prepared.
Yeah. Man. Anyway, I guess I'll get into my thoughts. I agree with Josh. I think like that spinner thing is really just like a Deku just remembering what Spinner said and seeing it kind of start to come true. Because they're not even like talking about the villains. They didn't even mention Shigaraki's name. So like, and I think it's also a thing of just like going back to normalcy, you know, just understand like creating those divisions again of just like hardline heroes and villains, which is what Spinner is like. Spinner said would happen. This is like everything is just gonna revert back. You're gonna it's not just about forgetting Shigaraki, it's just forgetting everything that created Shigaraki. And all that matters to people at this moment, and as it's displayed in the first years, is that the villains were defeated and heroes triumphed through hard work and grit and bravery. And Midoriya is like remembering, is like, oh well, it wasn't really that. You know, I mean, it wasn't so virtuous because Spinner sees him as a murderer, and and Deku doesn't necessarily not think of himself as that either, because he knows he killed Shigaraki in theory. So, and he's acknowledged that much.
Yeah, he said, "I won't deny it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a murderer.
Yeah.
Did murder your friend, Spinner. You can say that. That's fine. I'll accept that." He's real quick to let himself be a murderer. Deku's falling apart.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's like perspectives, you know? Some people would say that.
I'm joking.
No, I know. I mean, you know, some people wouldn't say that Deku's a murderer, you know? But yeah, it is an interesting little moment. And I do agree with you, Josh. I feel like it was like indicative of a bigger thing that was taking hold and that Deku started to not feel great about. And I feel like Uraraka is having a similar experience where she's seeing that everything's okay. You know, everybody's rebuilding. The rebuilding is going great. There's no evidence of how shitty the city looked without them because of the camera situation. I think that's what that was like really referring to, is that nobody will ever know how terrible it got here. And that's another layer of people forgetting, is that there's no physical depiction of how bad it got. So, you know, everything's looking normal. Everybody's like forgetting, and Uraraka, it's staying with her. Obviously, she dealt with Toga pretty intimately. So, and you know, she doesn't want to like impede progress, or she doesn't want to let people feel like what's happening now isn't even somewhat good, because it is kind of a net positive. You know, everything is rebuilding, things are more positive, and she's afraid that like if she were to bring up this pain, that it would kind of impede in that progress of everybody just being happy and stepping on people's just like relief that at the very least they're safe. So, you know, it's a heavy burden, and it is kind of like, I feel like, you know, what a lot of people who have been through kind of like combat situations are, like, feel like. This is, I think, a form of PTSD for sure.
Yeah.
But I feel like it was important that Deku felt a similar thing happening as well, because he can relate to her, and hopefully next chapter they can have just like a conversation like they did before the big war, and you know, talk about like, now that the big hurdle's over, how do we move forward, and how do we actually like make actionable steps to it. So next chapter will be interesting. We don't have long to go, huh? August 5th is supposedly the final chapter.
Oh man.
Which would be in 2 weeks. In 2-3 weeks. So it's interesting. We are getting towards the end, at apparently like very close to My Hero's 10th anniversary. So, or it has already been the 10th anniversary because it's 2024. My Hero came out in 2014. So,
Yeah.
pretty cool. But those are my thoughts. I thought this chapter was really good as well. Just not the really good chapter of the week, but very solid overall. Do we have any rebuttals or anything?
No, sir.
All right.
Nope.
Then let's get going.
Despite the fact that I'm dressed to the nines, I'm still packing heat, and I'm gonna pull out my weapon.
Kagurabachi.
All right. So the chapter starts off with a flashback to Tafuku talking to Hiyuki. Right? That's her name? Hiyuki, I think.
Yeah, Hiyuki, I believe.
Yeah. So they're over here, they're chatting it up, and Tafuku's like, yo, are you really like planning to kill this guy? And she's like, yeah, because like he's not gonna give that shit up. He's not gonna give up that fucking sword. And he's like, but he wouldn't fuck you up, so like why would you kill him? And she's doing her tsundere shit where she's like, yeah, I didn't kill him because he was so pitiful. I don't really like him that much like you do, but essentially she's putting more stock into like the kid who wants her sister back more than her need to kill Chihiro at the moment. So she's kind of like putting that grudge aside and doing what needs to be done to help those people. But as soon as that's over, she's essentially going to try to kill him for the blade, and that's where she stands. And then we cut to the auction house, and Tafuku's kind of hoping that she kind of changes her mind during the battle. These two are from Kamunabi, right? Or is Kamunabi the
Yeah, they're
villain
both
sort of
Kamunabi.
dressed up? Okay, so yeah, the Kamunabi people, they're kind of worried. They're kind of watching the fucking Shinuchi in action, and they're all kind of like getting nervous. And they're starting to wonder whether Kiora Sazanami, Dad Sazanami, is starting to lose his grip on the power of the sword, since it's so fucking strong compared to every other enchanted blade. So he's a little worried. And that none of these guys have ever seen the war, so it's easy for them to be a little to not be as nervous as them when it comes to the power of the Shinuchi. And we see kind of the hologram of Dad Sazanami kind of fizzling in and out, and then it just disappears. And this kind of immediately raises an alarm for the Kabunabi guys, where they're just like, oh shit, don't tell me that this guy's kind of fucked. And we kind of see like a glimpse of the original user of the Shinuchi, as Kiora is kind of just like in his, like holding his head in pain, kind of becoming overwhelmed just by the fucking power of it. And we see the inside of the storehouse starting to fall apart. We see the hostages, the people who are still stuck inside of the auction house, starting to get like, you know, the debris falling on top of them. And Chihiro kind of shouts out over to Hiyuki, and he's just like, yo, we got to do something here. And she's like, I know. So they immediately go ahead and start charging towards Kiora. And it looks like they managed to attack him, or at least like he parries their attack. And then we cut back to the auction house, and people are starting to wonder whether the auction is over. And what's his name, Hikari, or Yeah, Hakuri.
Hakuri, yeah.
He notices that the same thing that he uses to kind of like bulb people out or in of the storehouse is starting to pop up in the storehouse. I mean, in the auction house. And all out of that little bubble bursts out the three of these guys, and the fight kind of continues outside in reality now. And as soon as he comes out, Kiora uses an attack called Centipede.
Centipede?
And there are explosions happening.
Explosions.
I'm a little confused about what happened here. Oh no, he booped them both away. It looks like.
Yeah. He sent the shockwave out. And
Yeah,
sent,
I didn't.
Yeah,
It was
I
the
didn't catch that at first either.
Yeah,
actually,
I didn't notice this little. Wow, that's actually really unique. I've never seen paneling like this before. Wait, I actually just noticed.
Yeah, it's a tiny little panel.
Yeah, in the borders in between, you see Kiora knocking Chihiro and Hiyuki away into the stands. And he's still kind of like overwhelmed and like propping himself up with the sword. And Chihiro's kind of like, that wasn't Hiyuki, that wasn't Hakuri transporting us. We aren't registered. That motherfucker just did that. Mr. Shiba finally shows up and he's just like, yo, what the fuck is going on here? And we see that the same pool that appeared before is getting way bigger on the ground this time. It's just like all this energy is just pouring out of the Shinichi all over the floor, dripping out off of the stand. And it's the garden that appeared when it first got used is appearing again, and it looks like it's starting to like infect people in the crowds as well. Like these grass, the grass and the thorns are starting to like come out of people's mouths and fucking grow all over them. And Shiba's kind of like, wait, the Shinichi, he could use it? And we cut back to we see these little glimpses of the original master of the Shinichi as Kiora is kind of just like fighting his grasp over his fucking body. And Hiyuki's kind of like, I'll fucking kill him. And I don't know who's saying, wait, what? Is it Hakuri that's telling him to? Oh, yeah. Hakuri is telling her to stop and saying that the circumstances are different. The Shinichi's power is having an effect on the storehouse. Oh, yeah. So if they kill him inside, there's a chance that everybody within the storehouse is stuck. And since the storehouse is crumbling, it's almost certain death if they kill Kiora. And she was basically saying, yo, yeah, the Kiora is barely holding out. He's only going to last a few more seconds. And that going in there is tantamount to suicide. But Hiyuki is really thinking about the kid who's looking for his big sister. And she's just not willing to let that go. You know, she's willing to put her life on the line. And Chihiro agrees, and he's basically saying that if he doesn't do something and the enchanted blade takes the lives of innocent people, he wouldn't be able to bear that. And Shiba is basically saying, yo, dude, no, you're at your limit. You'll fucking die, man. And Chihiro like strengthens his resolve, and he says that he'll save every last one of them. And within the storehouse, as everything is kind of falling beneath the sister of the kid outside, she's kind of thinking about her brother as she cries and reaches out. A bubble comes out and Hakuri sends Chihiro in. And we get this awesome ass page of Chihiro kind of busting in amidst all the debris, and they're reaching out for each other. and we see the final panel of Hakuri basically coughing up blood and hoping that Chihiro can get the job done. And that's the end of the chapter. Josh, what are your thoughts?
I am at a very high alert right now because I am worried about Hakuri dying. One to stay around after this arc, but I think he's gonna die because he has a really broken ability. You think about it, and he's developing so fast and rapidly. I mean, it'd be nice for him to have an ally like that, but I mean, maybe he's just gonna be out commission for a while. But there will be consequences. The hero lost a whole entire fucking arm.
Yeah, but
A
did he
little
get it
while.
back?
Yeah, he has it back.
Yeah, right. And how he just had it back at the beginning of this.
I think they have a healer on their team.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
her
they
like
do.
powers aren't like fully grasped yet. Like,
I think it just took a while for it to heal. That's why. Maybe if it was fully grasped, she could do it almost instantly. Well, it's a done deal anyway. But I wonder if like all of the if like there are all the Shinuchi, I mean all of the swords that Chihiro's father made had their own sword masters. I'm assuming, right? Like it's not like his father used them all to end the war. He created them for others to use to end the war, right? Is that the right, that vibes that with y'all? So it'd be really cool if all of them played a role and entered in the series. They don't all have to be assholes or bad guys.
You mean all
or
the
nothing like
swords
that.
or all the sword
All the
masters?
swordsmen, all the sword
Well,
masters.
it seems like the Cloud Gouger guy is dead because that one was able to get control. Like that one was already like somebody could use it without having the effect of their master. So
Oh, I see. It's
Yeah.
only.
so there's a chance that the other guys are still alive. Like the rest of the blades are like all their masters are still alive and stuff. The Shinuchi
Or maybe
just
the Shinuchi is maybe the Shinuchi is so strong that that's the only sword that the sword master can have a connection with.
maybe I don't know because they mentioned before that like the remaining sword masters, like all of them have some sort of authority. So
Well,
I
the
just
thing
think the
is-
Shinuchi is the exception among all of the swords because of how strong
yeah,
it is.
they mentioned Shinuchi is the only one
makes sense.
that you can. It's not necessarily tied to the sword master. Like other people could use it. It's
The
just
Shinuchi?
so hard to use.
Oh,
Yeah.
so every other sword that has a master still alive, nobody else will be able to use it.
Yeah, they're locked to those masters. But
Okay, so yeah, that means the Cloud Gouger guy is dead, right?
yeah,
Okay. And I guess N10 as well.
I
Since
mean, I guess it
Chihiro's
depends.
using it?
We don't know if if it applies to him because it's
That's
technically
his sword.
yeah, it's not the same. It's not like it was made separately from the other blades, so it's not one of the original
Okay.
blades.
Got it. So Shinuchi is just so fucking evil that it purposely lets people use it just so that it can like consume them, essentially, right?
I mean, I don't know if it's that willpower.
that's
it's
part
just
of it.
I think it's just so strong that like
Yeah.
you can't really use it. You like in theory, there's no like, for lack of a better term, binding vow that like locks it to its master like the other ones do. But you know, it must be just like you got to be really strong to use it. And this guy was already at
This is
death's door when he
reasonable.
started, so
Yeah. Very reasonable explanation. I don't really have any more thoughts outside of that, really. I mean, everything was sick. I just hope Hakuri doesn't die. And yeah. Oh, I have one more thing to say.
As far as I'm looking for the girl's name that wants to kill
Yuki?
Chihiro. Heyuki. You
Yuki.
know, like I feel like I don't think she's just being the tsundere. I know you was probably cracking the joke, but I'm
Yeah, I was
thinking
just
like
cracking the joke.
she I think she really feels like anybody who feels like they have some type of authority by themselves to wield such strength is at fault. And I don't disagree with her. I really don't. It's just that, obviously her organization cannot be trusted. They're shady.
Like Kabunabi?
I mean, yeah, they haven't been fleshed out as much, but for what we've seen, they don't keep their hands clean 100%. So, I wonder about her. I wonder if she's gonna end up breaking away from Kabunabi at some
I
point.
don't think so. It's obvious that she feels strongly about the enchanted blades. So like I could see her letting Chihiro off the hook after this, at least for a short period of time. But I don't see her being somebody who joins forces with them. She seems like somebody who operates with her own sense of morality.
Well, what I think eventually she's gonna realize that Chihiro is probably the safest person that they could leave the swords with because everyone else with power to be able to get the swords and have access to them are gonna use them for their own nefarious reasons. And
Yeah,
if they form a strong enough team to defend the swords with Chihiro, that's probably the safest route. I think that's going to be what they come to eventually.
Yeah, there's obviously a lot of politics surrounding the enchanted blades and how they're being utilized. Like even now, like the Shinichi didn't even have to be in this situation if the Kabunabi didn't like put it up for bait. So
yeah, it makes me think about what situations will the other swords play a role in.
Yeah, it's wild that we're getting to see like the strongest of them all first before the rest of them. So must be some pretty interesting situations up ahead after this arc.
Right, they're probably going to be a lot more creative in their abilities. This one is like raw power, not just like a buff. I mean, like as far as like the techniques, like they all look really gorgeous and pretty, but they all do real. Nah, you know what? Because he was setting traps with the spider webs and shit. Yeah, this shit is crazy. It's gonna. I'm with you, Brian. I'm curious to see how they're gonna make the other swords stand out after this shit.
Yeah, because this is literally like the strongest one.
Yeah.
And they say and honestly, this isn't even it at its strongest capacity, so maybe that's what that kind of saving grace of the situation for this is that there's eventually going to be somebody who can wield this sword at max potential.
Yeah, it's gonna be the sword master. He's gonna come back and be like the end boss character or something.
I mean, I think the only way for it to fall in the hands of anybody else is for that sword master to die. So it seems like that's just probably a target for the evil sorcerer gang. I forget their name. You guys remember their name?
No.
All right, I'll look it up.
Well, I mean, I've been finished my thought. I mean, no, well, I didn't been, but my thoughts are finished. Did you have anything particular you want to talk about, Chris?
I mean, this was my second place.
Ooh,
I really thought this was really cool. Just on every level. We talk about Chihiro being kind of like this pragmatic kind of guy, and I never really like super about that. He's got like a good temperament about him. He doesn't really get freaked out about anything, but he is like very much an idealist. He is like talking about saving every last person in here, which is pretty nuts because everything is exploding and the fucking Shinichi is getting more like, will probably get more unstable as time goes on. But yeah, I mean, the moment where he comes in and tries to save this girl is very shonen. It kind of reminded me of My Hero Academia. This is very much a Deku.
Yeah.
This is a Deku vibe.
Couldn't let it happen.
Mm-mm.
And the thing is, he's not even doing it for like extremely noble reasons. He's literally doing it just for the fact that, like I'm sure he would have done it if the swords weren't involved. But since the swords are involved, that's like extra motivation for him to do it.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I think that's a noble thing. It's not like he's trying to protect his dad's reputation necessarily. It's more like he is aware of how strong these swords are. And that's what this series is kind of about, is just power and responsibility.
The Spider-Man of swords.
Yeah. And he's like, I don't want these swords that my dad made that I know are strong. I don't want them to destroy people because I know how fucking strong they are. They weren't made to be used lightly. They were made for one specific purpose and then just to be locked away.
I would call him Sword Peter Parker from now on.
Yeah, you can. You can. I feel like that's a bit of a mouthful.
I'm not going to call him Sword Peter Parker if you guys are going to call him Sword Peter Parker.
Well, I'm not going to call him Sword Peter Parker the whole time, Brian. I mean, that's too many words.
I'm deciding still.
Chihiro, Sword Peter Parker.
But yeah, what I'm saying is that I think there is something noble in, like, particularly because they're swords. They're the swords that his dad made. It's just not wanting them to fall into people's hands who would use them irresponsibly or to hurt people. And I think that's noble enough. But yeah, I mean, I really like this chapter overall. That 2-page spread where they come into the auction house is incredible. The other 2-page spread where like the flowers spread around is also incredible. I love this series. I'm very glad it's in the lineup. But yeah, really, that's all I got to say that you guys already haven't said yet. So
yeah, I don't have much to say. I've already had my discussion.
Yeah,
for the most part.
So I mean, we're ready to move on then.
I think Shiba needs to fucking get his shit together and just stop complaining and help, bro. Like,
this guy's just chilling. He's like
Shiba
the
over here,
guy.
like, yo, stop, guys, stop. Like, they're gonna do it anyway. Just help them.
Yeah, he's just waiting for his time.
Your hero out of there.
Yeah, he's just biding his time for him to be like, well, I guess I got to do my cool teleporty thing now, and I'm going to take the credit for all the cool shit that happened.
I would.
I mean, I'm not blaming you. I'm just saying that's what's going to happen. All right, are we ready to move on?
Yeah.
Alrighty, let's go.
Bloody Cross.
Undead Unlock. And with that, I'm going to pass this over to Josh.
Undead Unlock, chapter number 215, rehearsal. Last week they pulled up on Tatiana up in, I think, Germany. Yeah,
Russia.
I think we're gonna go with Germany.
No, it was Russia. We talked about this. They're in Russia.
Oh, Revolution Square. Right. Okay.
Moscow.
Right. Okay. Yeah, all right. Yeah, they pulled up on Tatiana in Moscow, Russia. And was trying, and had a hard time locating her, but it wasn't until Fuko stooped to her, probably her lowest moment ever in the series, and chose to lure in a child as a complete adult stranger, lure in this child with teddy bear outfit that she knows Tatiana likes. Creepy. So, I mean, we get a little bit of reconciliation because at the beginning of the chapter, Tatiana starts lecturing Fuko for what she did, but not for really the reasons I'd like her to, but it's okay. I'm willing to move forward from this if everyone else is. So let us know in the comments if you're not ready to move forward. Anyway, so Tatiana's like, oh, listen, I know what you're here for. You want to be my new security guard. So she fires the other guys on the spot because they couldn't find her for like the past 2 hours or whatever. And oh, I'm sorry, 5 hours. So yeah, they a pack. So, you know, it works out for Fuko and the gang because they all get to stay near her and be her bodyguards and, you know, figure out how they're gonna help mitigate her negated disaster. Which, if for those that don't remember, her ability is untouchable, and when it manifests, she will create a very large force field that will, obliterate everything in its direct, or push everything out in its direction, undoubtedly, unless there's like a very specific material that they surround around her, which that's kind of the point they're all trying to discuss, like, all right, like they're checking out the venue to see like where is the most likely spot she'd manifest her quirk. I mean, did I say quirk? Yeah, no, her I said quirk, her negator ability. And obviously it'll probably be at the center of the stadium where it'll kill every single person. Very convenient. um Unchange actually, I mean, no, Unmove actually has a good idea, and he's like, well, I can probably use Unmove on her so that the force field doesn't go anywhere. But Fugo's like, look, like, not only is your ability alone not strong enough, but you can't use your ability on like shit you can't really see. The most you could do is use it on her clothes, and then that's just, it'll, but that can't stop the force field entirely. So while they're trying to think this, Tatiana's like, oh, like, how do I look, Fuko? She has like this black dress on that reminds her of when she used to have that all black spear. Well, I think actually, now that I'm rereading this, I think she was just happy to see her and like see Tatiana happy about the clothes she's wearing, because when she knew her in the previous loop, she never had clothes at all. So yeah, I thought that was, I just noticed that now. That's why I made that little interjection. But anyway, Fuko's essentially reaffirmed that, like, look, I'm like, she's like such a strong person, and she, like, just like she was in the previous loop, and she doesn't want to like allow her life to get like ruined by the negation ability, really, like more so than anybody else so far, from what it seems like. She also makes a comment like earlier that I overlooked. That was like, Fuko makes the comment to one of the other members that there's no way, like, she doesn't really think there's a way she could stop the ability from manifesting at all. But they're gonna just try to do everything in their power to delay it, like they did with Nico, and that they just have to find out what it is exactly that triggers it. Like with Nico, his trigger was the death of someone that he loved so much. So it's all about trying to understand what'll trigger it and suppressing that. Anyway, there's a nice little moment with Chikara, which is Unmove. He snaps a picture of Tatiana as she's like rehearsing her walk on the stage, and she's like, "Yo, don't take no pictures of me, gimme." So she takes it, signs it, and she's like, "It was a nice photo, like, but take way more of me tomorrow when I'm like really in form." And he's like stunned, like, "Oh," because the whole model pulled up on him, and they're both kids, so I guess that's nice. I like that. I like this little union ship right there. My dude Chikara is a nice guy,
He's a nice guy.
Sean and yeah, he's a nice guy, Sean and Unmove Peep, they looked at each other like, my boy got some motion. So
which is ironic because he's Unmove.
I don't know. She might be too young.
Oh wow. I hope not.
Well, we don't know how old she is in this loop. She does look a little older.
A little bit, but like marginally.
Well, he's a high school student, so
he's 17.
Not looking good.
And there's a chance that
all, guys.
There's a chance that she's like 10 years younger than him or something like that.
This is cursed. Oh, you're wilding, bro.
Okay, I don't think she's
7 to 10, 10 to 7 years younger than him.
I would say at minimum 12.
6? 12?
You're wilding.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I think she's either 10 or something around there.
I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Yeah, I really don't care to. Anyway, so thanks for the observation.
It's just weird. It's just weird, man. I don't know.
Yeah, we agree. We totally agree, and clearly we're not ready to move past these things. So, anyway, we get to the night of the fashion show, and it's time for Tatiana to go up on the stage and kill it. It was like, everyone get to your positions. Her tragedy's coming up, and we're gonna negate it with all of our powers. That's the end of the chapter. Yeah, now I can unironically ask you, Brian, what were your thoughts on this chapter that you read? For sure.
I kind of wish there was more Billy in this. I'm not gonna lie. I'm really shocked
Billy
that there's.
Batson?
Yeah, I'm honestly shocked that Billy isn't more involved in this story, like for Tatiana's,
Shazam.
Second loop.
That's true.
It's kind of disappointing a little bit. It makes me like a little less invested, huh?
They don't know each other.
They don't know each other, but still, they were like really close in the first loop. I feel like it kind of, it's not really. I feel like they could still play off of that. Like, it seems like they had some kind of connection when he first saw her. I just feel like they could have played on that. Well, this manga could have played on that a little bit more. Like, I don't know why Sean is getting more screen time in this arc than Billy. When like Sean never had anything to do with her.
You leave Sean alone.
I like Sean. I like Sean a lot.
But
I feel like this isn't supposed to be an arc that's focused on him, like that has so much interaction with him. Like Billy.
There's still time.
I feel like deserves it more in this. Yeah, there's a chance that Billy is more involved in like the whole prevention of the event. But I don't know. I feel like Billy has been kind of like really underutilized in the second loop so far. And I feel like this was supposed to be. I feel like this could have been like an arc where he's kind of more center stage, as opposed to most other characters in the Union. Yeah, I just want more Billy. Just want more Billy in this shit. Hurry the fuck up.
Yeah.
I think they're kind of alluding to the fact that Nico is gonna make clothes that only Tatiana can wear. Because I highly doubt the second loop is going to allow her to not be able to wear clothes, which would be, thank goodness, which would be the greatest gift of all.
Right?
We can only hope. We can only pray.
Because I feel like the only difference, the biggest difference in this arc, in this second loop, is that Nico is a genius who cares now.
Yeah.
He's a genius who cares about everyone. So I'm sure he'll find a fucking solution to allow her to wear clothes instead of just doing like the bare minimum to contain her,
Mm-hmm.
But those are my thoughts. More Billy. Nico's the GOAT. That's it. What are your thoughts, Chris?
I thought this chapter was cool. It feels like it's moving a little fast too, for Tatiana. But because they're already at almost the climax of this one. But I guess they don't really need to spend time on a whole lot of fluff. It's just gonna be weird when after all of this, she's gonna be like, "You're gonna help us fight God." He's like, "I just met you guys 14 hours ago." But yeah, I'm hoping they actually prevent it. I'm glad that they decided to not let it happen. So You know, that's a plus. I feel like that's a good like moral route to take, especially since Tatiana has such a devastating negation.
Yeah.
It is devastating. That was the right word.
Yeah. One thing I'm always excited for is that the combination of powers that everybody splits off into, and I'm excited to see like how everybody here contributes in their own way. I think this is the first major mission that Chikara has taken place in since the loop started, and we also have Julia and Billy. You know, Gina and Sean are on pretty much almost every mission. But,
yeah, Gina makes sense. Sean, I don't know why he's here.
Well, Sean,
I'm not hating on Sean. I like
problem,
Sean.
What's your
I like
fucking
Sean,
problem
but
with Sean,
I don't know why he's here.
Why do you
man.
hate
like,
him?
I don't.
He has a useful ability, bro.
Yeah, but how is it gonna like? Is he gonna turn her invisible?
Maybe.
Like, is he gonna? Like, that's the only way I see him being like his negation being helpful here is maybe he turns Tatiana invisible instead. But yeah.
Jeez,
Sean has to
has
earn his
something.
place here in this arc for me.
This guy has something out for Sean. I don't know what the hell's his problem, Josh.
I like Sean. I swear to God, I like Sean.
What the hell's his problem? He's picking really fights with Sean.
He needs to figure this shit out.
He's there all the time. He's always there. He's an important character. And when he feels cringe, he closes his eyes and goes invisible. He's relatable.
Yeah. I feel like we all wish we could have been Sean at some point.
The second loop, not the first loop, because he got killed mad easy.
Yeah. Second loop.
That's
Sean.
Julia next to
That is Julia, yes.
Okay. I was wondering who that was. I forgot for a sec.
But yeah, I'm excited to see how this turns out because we don't really know what causes her negation. So it's these combinations of characters specifically that like prevent her from doing it. So it'll be cool to see how they figure it out. They seem to be like practicing some kind of thing, you know, in one of the panels on like page 16. So
now that I think about it, who else would like? I don't think there's anybody else who could take Sean's spot. I feel like it makes sense. They don't really need a combatant, right?
No, they're not.
Just bring some utility. That's about it.
Yeah, it's a lot of utility guys. And Billy's is like the biggest fighter here, but I don't think he has a negation. So
he does.
Oh, I guess he does.
His whole thing. It's just the
he's
parameters of it changed.
I see him using Unchange.
Yeah, the parameters of it just changed. Now, but because before in the first loop, it was anybody who saw him as a threat. Right. He could use them. He could use their negation.
Yeah.
But what is it now? It's like if they like him.
Oh, I don't remember. I was hoping you would remember.
You talking about Billy's?
Yeah, Billy's new negation in the second loop.
Yeah, it's about how strong his feelings are for people.
Oh, so it's like the same as Shen?
Totally. Shen's isn't like that.
Shen's is if he likes someone, they're untrue. He can activate untruth, right?
I have no idea.
I think so.
Oh yeah. If they do like him, if he has like strong feelings for someone, he activates untruth. But again, I also don't know if that's the same here. Does Shen have his negation? I don't know if he even does.
Oh no. The second loop. So the new.
Oh, the girl does.
The new thing for unfair is that if he sees someone as strong, he can use them.
Mm.
So I think it's even stronger now.
Yeah,
he got a buff.
It's an improvement.
Yeah, that's like incredibly overpowered, and they haven't been using him that much at all in the second loop.
Yeah,
which is wild to me.
I think there's gonna be a lot of fighting coming up soon.
Like as soon as Andy comes back, Billy is literally gonna be a fucking unstoppable behemoth, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He definitely can copy that undead ability, yeah.
I mean, there's no way he's not going to view Andy as strong.
Yeah.
Andy's like the strongest guy around.
I thought that was Shen. Billy's is like something else, right?
No, Shen's is based off of if he's fond of them. And Billy's new one, like, because it changed in the second loop.
Okay.
And Shen doesn't have the ability anymore. It's
no, that was in the first
what's
loop.
her name? Yeah, the girl has it now. His girlfriend.
No, that was in the first loop. The second loop, he has it again.
Oh, he passes it to her. So does she have a negation ability in this loop? No.
No,
right?
she doesn't. Remember he died. He died and passed it on to her, and then he became the fucking zombie.
Okay.
And then
you're right.
Then the loop happened again, and he has it back. But she just ended up being extremely fucking strong in the second loop. See, I'm the Undead Unluck expert now.
You are. I've only read it once, so like my memory on certain things is waning.
Thank you, Brian.
No problem. Salute.
Yeah. Were those all the thoughts?
Yeah.
All right. With that, that was Undead Unluck, and that has been our show. Well, this went on longer than I thought it would. We managed to deliver a nearly 2-hour show.
It's always One Piece, bro. It's always One Piece's fault.
I don't know, bro. We went off, but that's okay.
Every time, I swear to God, no matter what, every time we have less chapters to review, when we talk about One Piece, it makes up for the time that we spend on other series.
I don't even think it's just One Piece because we talked pretty extensively about everything.
My Hero was on there for a minute, too.
Yeah,
My Hero is also a culprit of that too. So.
Yeah, but you know what? It's more content for the people, and that's all we want. Thank you guys for joining us. I hope you enjoyed this late night edition of New Jump City. You can find me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. Josh is at JDCole_37 on Instagram, at New Jump City Josh on Twitter, and also on TikTok. Brian is at b.esp on Twitter and Instagram. Catch him when he's playing video games on the internet and streaming it for the audience at twitch.tv/itspunchline.
Why'd you say it like
that? I don't know, man. Follow the show at New Jump City on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, because why not? Check us out on that. Email us at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about, and we will answer it on the pre-show chat show that we usually do. We'll do a new one next week. It is late, so we forewent it this week. But yeah, check that out. And subscribe to us on all the things. Just all of the things. We're on all of the things. Find us, subscribe to us, like, share, leave reviews. It'll be super helpful, and frankly, it would make my day if I saw a 5-star review somewhere or a nice, cute, positive comment somewhere. But yeah, that's it. That's it for tonight. Have yourselves a great week. Stay safe, New Jersey citizens.
Bye.
Peace out, yeah.
Bye.